You know that little voice in your head, right? The one that loves to pop up with a bit of criticism or a seed of doubt, usually at the worst possible moment. Well, today we're diving into a really interesting and surprisingly simple way to handle that inner critic. I mean, really think about that. What if it wasn't about some complicated meditation practice or years of therapy? What if it was just a few seconds, a tiny shift in how you see things? That's exactly what we're going to unpack. And believe it or not, the key comes from this one single card. It lays out a super elegant but really powerful technique for dealing with that nagging voice of self-doubt. All right, so let's take a look at what this card actually says. It kicks off with a really hopeful idea. And I gotta say, I love that opening. It's not about declaring war on your inner critic or trying to destroy it. It's about learning to manage it. And the payoff? Life gets later. It feels empowering right from the start, not like you're heading into a battle. So before we can manage this voice, we kind of have to get properly introduced. What exactly is it? The card actually calls it 小声音, which literally just means little voice. And that's perfect, right? It's that constant narrator in your head, the one giving a play-by-play on everything you do. And let's be honest, it's usually the one fueling our biggest fears and holding us back. Now, here it is. This is the first huge shift in perspective. What if that voice isn't actually your enemy? What if it's trying to protect you, but it's just really, really bad at its job? Like a well-meaning but totally misguided advisor who's just stuck on a loop of fear. Reframing it this way is the key to everything that comes next. Okay, so now for the how-to. The card breaks it down into a super simple 3-step exercise that changes your entire relationship with that voice. It's honestly this straightforward. First, you get specific. You don't just say, I have self-doubt. You pinpoint the exact thought, like, you're gonna fail this presentation. Then, step 2, you write it down. You take it out of your head and put it on paper, which is surprisingly powerful. And finally, the wild card step. You say out loud 3 times, thank you for sharing, I am fine. And I know what you're thinking. That sounds nuts, right? Why in the world would you think the very thing that's making you feel awful? Well, this is where the genius of this technique really shines. Okay, so look at this comparison. When you fight that voice, when you argue with it and tell it to shut up, you're actually giving it more power. You're creating resistance, which just fuels this endless internal war. But when you thank it, something totally different happens. You're not agreeing with it, you're just acknowledging it's there. You create a little bit of distance, and in doing that, you completely disarm its power. You're not fighting anymore, you're just noticing. And that simple act of noticing, of just thanking it and letting it be, starts to build a really powerful mental muscle. And that muscle is awareness. Here's the most important takeaway. You are not your thoughts. By saying, thank you for sharing, you are literally creating a separation between you, the real you, and that fleeting negative thought. You become the observer of the thought, not a prisoner to it. And that, right there, is how you break the cycle. And this all boils down to this brilliant philosophy written on the card. It translates to, the more you are aware, the more free you become. Every single time you do this little exercise, you're making a conscious choice for awareness over an automatic negative reaction. Because that's the end game here. Look, the goal isn't to silence that voice forever. It's probably always going to be there in some form. The goal is to achieve freedom from its automatic, unconscious control over you. It's about getting to a place where you have the power to choose how you respond. So let's bring this home. How can you actually put this into practice? Like right now. I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What's one of those little voices, one of those recurring thoughts that's been holding you back lately? Maybe just for today, you can identify it, acknowledge it, and then try it out. Give it a little thank you. You might just be surprised at how much lighter you feel.